שנת 73 חלמתם אותנו לראשונה עם שחר בתום הקרבות.
All right, we're gonna get started. Yeah, can you lower it just a little bit, or?
הייתם גברים עייפים.
Thank you. Yeah. Everyone, hello. Thank you for being here today. I'm very impressed with the turnout in the middle of the day, which shows me that this is very important to you all, and I'm grateful that you are here today. Just a few housekeeping rules or notes. Please mute yourself as always, so that there is no background noise that can disturb the program. You're also very welcome to list any names of IDF soldiers or victims of terror that you might know that have passed, that were killed. You can list their names in the chat if you would like to share. And also just know that some of the videos here today are from last year or the year before. So if you see somebody, a politician, and he or she is not in office anymore, you know why. It's not recent. Okay, so let us begin. In a minute or so, we will hear a 1-minute siren marking the start of our program. It's the same siren that all of Israel will hear tomorrow at 8 p.m. Israel time, which starts the 24-hour period of, for all of us, unbearable sorrow, as we remember those who died defending the Jewish homeland when called to serve, and those whose lives were cut short by terror attacks while living life and just going about their routine. It is with heavy heart that I stand here today, knowing that 24,068 soldiers have died defending the state of Israel, and 4,185 Israeli civilians have been murdered in terror attacks in Israel and abroad. And I had to just unfortunately add another one this past weekend. So this is still going on, and it's extremely current and relevant. Tonight, though, we're gonna honor the memory of First Sergeant Uri Friedman, who was killed in action in Southern Lebanon, defending Israel's northern border back in 1996. We are honored that Uri's sister Talia is here with us today, and we will hear from her later in the program. Talia, thank you for being here. Toda she'at itanu. Thank you. I would like you to stand now, please, if you can, to honor fallen Israeli Defense Force soldiers and victims of terror. The 1-minute siren will be followed by the score prayer in Hebrew and English. Just bear with me for one moment. Yael, you have to stop sharing your sound so that I can do this. Excuse me, guys, for 1 second. Okay. Please rise. נזכור עם ישראל את בניו ובנותיו הנאמנים והאמיצים, חיילי צבא הגנה לישראל, וכל לוחמי המחתרות וחטיבות הלוחמים במערכות העם, ואנשי קהילות המודיעין, הביטחון, המשטרה ושירות בתי הסוהר, אשר חרפו נפשם במלחמה עד תקומת ישראל, וכל מי שנרצחו בארץ ומחוצה לה בידי מרצחים מארגוני הטרור. יזכור ישראל ויתברך בזרעו ויאבל על זיו העולמים בחמדת הגבורה וקדושת הרצון ומסירות הנפש של הנספים במערכה הכבדה. יהיו חללי מערכות ישראל עטורי הניצחון חתומים בלב ישראל לדור ודור. May the nation of Israel remember its sons and daughters, faithful and courageous, the soldiers of the Israel Defense Force, and all members of the undergrounds and brigades, the warriors in the battles at sea, members of the intelligence community, security personnel, policemen, and those in the prison service who gave up their lives in war to ensure the existence of Israel, and all whom that were killed within Israel and outside of Israel at the hands of murderers and terrorists. May the nation of Israel and the Exalted One remember the radiance of the youthfulness, the delightfulness, heroism, purity of their will, and the selflessness of those who fell in the costly wars. May the fallen of the wars of Israel be crowns of victory, and may their names be inscribed upon the hearts of Israel for all generations. Amen. You can all be seated, please. All of us here today know that we can never be without a Jewish homeland. Just last week, we remembered the 6 million Jews who perished during the Shoah. Only one can imagine what would have been if there was a state of Israel during that time. Also last week, new data was reported on the state of anti-Semitism in New Jersey, the US, and the world. The number of anti-Semitic incidents has never been higher. Israel is our anchor and must remain strong during this uncertain time and always. Here at home, Jewish Federation is doing its part to ensure that Israel remains secure, that our community's connection to our homeland remains strong. Federation is proactive in the Israel advocacy arena through our Jewish Community Relations Council. Federation provides teen travel grants for trips to Israel to strengthen connections and invest in a bright Jewish future. And when possible, Federation organizes community missions to Israel to explore our roots and reconnect with the land. Connecting Jews in the heart of New Jersey with the land of Israel, land and people of Israel, is one of Federation's major priorities because it strengthens the Jewish family worldwide. Unity among Jews is the answer to anti-Semitism, and Israel is the cement that holds us together. If we remain strong as one nation, we will prevail. Israel will remain forever the Jewish homeland with Jerusalem as her capital. Israel will continue to thrive and her people will continue to live and prosper. Remember, they died so that we shall live. Am Yisrael Chai, long live the state of Israel. I would like to turn the program over now to Yael Tzafrir, Jewish Federation's remote Jewish agency, Community Shlicha. Yael, over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yael. I hope you can hear me well. It says my internet connection is not the best, but we'll work with it. I work on behalf of the Jewish Agency. I'm a virtual Shlicha, that's how we call this program. It's a unique opportunity to be in Shlichut, but virtually, so I'll be able to work and bring you programs about Israel and just share with you my Israel from far away. I'm right now in my apartment in Beersheba. I returned back to Israel 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, after 2 years of Shlichut in Washington, D.C. So this is you might see some roommates behind me because that's the space I'm in right now, just for you to know. So today we're doing something very special called HaZikaron, recipe with a memory. It's an amazing program also created by a fellow Shlicha like me that decided that we need to do something different to remember people that we lost. And she brought some recipes from the families, and we are able to like eat it together, smell it together, and feel like we are in their house and we are making someone very happy and making this in memory of someone. So it's a very unique and special program for me that I usually do at least once a year with friends, or today with you. Yeah, so today we are making a recipe that is very unique to very meaningful to two people here in this Zoom. And I would love if Dan, you want to share the story a little bit.
So I just wanted to share briefly my connection to Uri. I didn't know Uri, to be honest with you all. My entire encounter with Uri probably lasted 5 minutes, if at all. But that 5 minutes, his personality and his kindness just stuck with me all these years, especially when I found out only about, I think it was probably about 12 or 24, a lot of memories already are combined together, but I think it was a day after I spoke to him, he was killed. So I might have been one of the last few people he spoke to before he fell in battle. So I met him on an army base that was inside Southern Lebanon. Very briefly, if you don't know, Israel used to operate in a security zone in Southern Lebanon to keep terrorists from infiltrating into Israel through Israel's northern border. So I had just returned from an operation, and I was on Uri's base, and we were given about an hour or so to rest before our mission continued. And I had walked into a room that I thought was empty, but Uri was there and he was sleeping, and I woke him up. And those of you who knows anything about army life, if you're sleeping, it means you have a few minutes, or who knows when the last time you slept. I remember he was sleeping with his clothes on. Talia, I don't think I ever told you that. His clothes were on, his boots were on. So it means that he was just trying to get as much sleep as he could until he had to continue doing what he was doing. But he was so nice to me. He didn't know me. He said, yeah, don't worry about it. You're probably tired yourself. Just hang out here as long as you want, and rest up before you go on and continue on your mission. And I don't remember exactly how long I was in there. It wasn't long, and I left and continued on doing what I was doing. And that was it. That was my entire interaction with him. And then the next day or so, or 12 hours later or so, I remember seeing a very heavy artillery barrage on the outpost that I was just in hours earlier. And I heard all about, what was going on. There were wounded soldiers, and I did hear that a soldier was killed. But again, by the way, I didn't even know his name when I met him. And then next day I saw in the newspaper, I saw his picture. And the fact that I had just seen him just blew me away. And Uri stuck with me all these years. And I try to remember him every Yom HaZikaron. And this is why I wanted to bring honor his memory here today, because of my personal connection. And I got in touch with Talia, and she was very nice to agree to come speak with us. So that's my connection to Uri. And later we'll hear from Talia as well, of course. But I'm going to turn it back to you, Yael.
So I'll explain a little bit how the program will go. So we'll start with cooking. In the middle of the cooking, we do have some waiting time. So in between, we will hear from Talia. I have here, you can see me, see my version of me. You can see me twice now, supposed to see me twice. And then you'll see all the things I have here in the room. You can see it through the phone. So I'm going to show you everything and how to do it, what you need. We'll start with the items first. So just make sure if you are cooking with me that you have everything around you. If you are not cooking with me, it's all good. We are recording it, and you can see it later and cook with us again. So I'm going to show you what we have here. So we have diced tomatoes. We have onion, diced onion. I have here like sliced, chopped mushrooms. I have here red bell peppers, tomato sauce, 2 garlic cloves like this. I'm gonna cut them later. And I have sweet paprika, pepper, salt, rice, and oil. I hope you could hear that well. Can someone
all good.
Thumb up so I will. Good.
All good.
Except from that, I have 2 pots and pans. I have a big one for the pepper and where we are gonna cook everything, and another one for the rice. So that's what we need. I'm gonna turn off this camera for now, and I'm gonna explain with my computer camera. So what we're gonna start with is cutting the pepper. We're gonna cut it, and then we're gonna take all the middle part out. So you can start with that. I hope you can see everything. If not, I'll show you it in a second. So I'm taking everything out from the inside, so we won't have any seeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, if there's a way to move your computer a little bit closer, that would be good.
Yeah. I'm gonna also show it. So I took everything out and cut it like this. So it was very, very easy. Just a second. Clean and easy. And as you see, I cut the but you don't have to. So I'm putting it here, and I'm gonna cut all the rest. Basically what we can do with the rest is like covering it while it boils. You don't have to, but it's also gonna add to that. So that's what we are doing. Can you still hear me? The Zoom fell for a second. I don't know why my internet is not working. Just a second.
Recording in progress.
Sorry for
Yael, you're on mute.
Sorry for the problems with the computer. So we're gonna cut everything, and then we're gonna start cooking. So I hope you're cutting it with me and getting ready. Very simple. Again, I cut the middle part, like cut the upper part, and then take out all the middle part.
Yael and Dan, I wrote something in the chat.
I see.
Dan translated.
So I quickly translated it. It's Google Translate, so I did it quickly. Talia, do you mind sharing in the meantime? And I can translate it if you want to do it in Hebrew. Why was this dish so important to Uri? Like, why did he? How much did he like it? Just if a little bit of background, if you can. If you want in Hebrew again, I can translate. It's okay.
I can talk in English, but my English is not so well. Just a Bagrut English. I'm talking like Hebrew in English.
It's okay. Well, we have plenty of people here.
Okay, so I want to tell you that this tafshil.
This dish, this recipe.
Yes, my grandmom. בעצם סבתא שלי בישלה את התבשיל הזה. סבתא שלי הייתה שומרת עלינו הרבה כשהיינו ילדים קטנים.
Okay, so this is a recipe that is originally from her grandmother. Her grandmother used to be with the kids, watch them when they were little. Okay.
כן. סבתא שלי הייתה ניצולת שואה, היא בזמן מלחמת העולם השנייה, בזמן השואה היא והמשפחה שלה ברחו מפולין לסיביר ברוסיה.
Okay, so her grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and from Poland, and during the war they had escaped to Siberia in Russia.
כן, ובמהלך השירות שלהם שם בסיביר, אימא של סבתא שלי נפטרה, ככה שסבתא שלי מצאה את עצמה בגיל 12 אימא קטנה, והייתה צריכה לבשל לכולם, וככה היא למדה להיות בשלנית. כן.
So Talia's great-grandmother had passed when her grandmother was very young. So her grandmother had to quickly learn how to cook and take care of herself and her family.
ופלפלים ממולאים זה בעצם תבשיל מאוד חם, והוא מאוד גם מנחם. יש בו משהו באמת, על זה שזה ממולא ומתבשל הרבה על האש, ויש בו משהו באמת מאוד מאוד משפחתי, וריח מצוין.
So stuffed peppers, which is what we're making. Sorry if I didn't say that earlier. And it's something very simple, but always served hot. And there's something about it that makes it very family oriented, or families like to sit down and to dinner over this dish.
Yeah. סבתא שלי במקור בישלה את זה עם בשר טחון, בשר בקר, חצי קילו בשר בקר וחצי קילו בשר עוף, עם בשר טחון שהייתה טוחנת אותו בהתחלה לפני, היא הייתה טוחנת אותו לבד.
So her grandmother originally made it with beef and chicken, and she would make everything from scratch. Take the meat and grind it up and all that. And forgive me if my cooking terms are off, because I'm not an expert, but I think you get the idea.
כן, אבל אורי כשהוא היה בגרעין נחל בקיבוץ, הוא ראה איך משמידים את האפרוחים הזכרים, ובעקבות זה שהוא ראה איך זורקים את האפרוחים על הקיר, כי כל אפרוח שהוא זכר בעצם מושמד. אין מה לעשות עם זכרים.
So Uri was in a part of the army that combines living on a kibbutz and also serving in the military. So while he was on kibbutz, he saw how the meat was prepared, and that basically ended his days of eating meat, which is probably why he became a vegetarian.
נכון, אז הוא באמת נהיה צמחוני, ואז אמא שלי בעצם בכל זאת רצתה לבשל לו את המאכל הזה שכל כך ביתי וכל כך, אז היא החליפה את הבשר בפטריות, עם האורז כמובן.
So to accommodate his being a vegetarian, Uri's mother switched out the meat with mushrooms.
כן.
And that's basically how, yeah.
בעצם אורי היה צמחוני, וזה כל כך מה תמיד אני חושבת עליו, איך בן אדם שהיה צמחוני וכל כך רחם על האפרוחים, הלך להיות לוחם קרבי, אבל זה אולי לא בסתירה, אני לא יודעת.
So it was always interesting for Uli's family, and it might not go together, but since he was a vegetarian, he had such sympathy on animals. How does somebody with that kind of a heart go and become a soldier in the infantry where unfortunately you might be in a position to kill somebody? That was always something that was conflicting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how this dish became one of Uri's favorites. So it started from his grandmother, his great-grandmother, all the way to his mom and to his home.
זה כאילו עבר בדורות.
It was passed on through the generations. And now we're sharing it. It's being shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, back to you, I guess. Shlicha.
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
So we're gonna start. I'm gonna do something different a little bit because it seemed like it will be a bit faster. So we're gonna start with the rice. And while we are waiting for the rice to boil, we'll go to the pepper and the sauce. So yeah. So you should take oil, put it in the pot, just a little bit, and then throw inside the onion, the diced onions, and then we will let it, we'll mix it until it gets a little bit clear, and then I'll give you the rest of the instructions. So let's start. I'll show you also with my phone camera in a second. As you see, I told you my roommate will be here too. He's ready to eat. So I put already oil inside and I'm throwing the onions. And I'm just gonna stir it until it's ready. I think what is so unique about this program is that you can smell the smell, the vibe in the house, and have the food not being only eating it, but also feeling like the entire house is cooking with us, and that's what I like about that. So yeah, I'm gonna let it sit. After being done with the onions, we're gonna add the rice. And I hope you can see this. It's getting a bit the color and gets clearer. I'm gonna add the rice right now. So I have here half a cup of rice, and I'm gonna mix it with the onions. And then I'm gonna add water. So just a second. If you're doing more rice, you just double the amount. So I did a cup of rice and not a half, but you can do, if you did a half, add 1 cup. 1 cup of water. Make sure you're mixing it so it won't get stuck. And now what you do, so you can see on the screen as well, I put water and I'm gonna cover it up. We don't want it to be totally soft. We want it to be like partial cooked. So because we are gonna keep cooking with it. So just make sure the water is not fully disappearing.
Let me just add that, by the way, another nice thing about this program is that for any soldier coming home after, being away for a couple of weeks, a home cooked meal is golden, priceless. Just thought I'd throw that in.
I agree. I remember as a soldier, like I think one of the things that I loved the most is having my mom schnitzels. So she always made it for me. And it's always a mess because I love mashed potato, dairy mashed potato, but I also love schnitzel. So I have to decide which one I want. Yeah, so every week it was a surprise what I'm eating. But I think I'll share while we are waiting that I had another program like that last night and with friends. And we talked about having like, I served during 2014 Operation Protective Edge, and just talking about the fact that we are losing people that are our age. They are like people that they might be our friends or our friends might know them. And as you see, even with this story, we don't know how we met the people that we lost. We can meet them for one moment or like see them on the street, and Israel is so small that it's so unique to just you always know someone that knows someone, and it's a big circle like that. So yeah, I think it's a very unique thing about Israel and very interesting thing. So I'm going to start with the red sauce. What we're going to do right now is we start with this pan now. So I'll show it to here. And I'm going to add 3 or 4 tablespoons of red tomato sauce. So I'm going to add more the amount needed. My pan, and I'm cooking for a lot of people, apparently. So I'm going to add it. You don't have to have too much in it, but yeah. I'm also gonna let it it's heating up. And I'm also gonna add the tomatoes and mix it up inside. So just together. And you can mix it just like that. This is our base for the bell peppers, the red peppers. So this will be our base. We will also add water to it in the future, only after we put the red pepper inside. But I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna add spices into it. So I'm gonna add sweet paprika. I'm adding a lot, but you can add whatever the amount you want. I'm gonna add pepper, like this. And I'm gonna add salt. Again, mixing it up, just making sure it's all getting the flavor.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready to move on to the next part.
You can see my rice is already done, kind of. Still have water. That's how I wanted it to be. I'm gonna add a little bit more water just because it looks hard. So just a second. What I'm gonna do in the meanwhile, while my rice is almost ready, I'm gonna start getting ready with the garlic. So what I want to do with the garlic is having it diced, or I don't know how you say it, but how you call this machine thing?
Grater?
Grater.
Is that a grater?
It's like a smoosh thing.
Oh, anyone?
I don't know how. But I'm gonna peel the garlic clove, and I'll put it there, and I'm gonna add it to the rice. So that's what garlic press. Thank you,
garlic
Lisa.
press. Thank you, Lisa.
So I'm gonna add it to the rice. And I'm gonna also add to the rice the mushrooms. So as Talia said, that's the vegetarian option. You of course can make it with meat, as Talia's family made it before. But today we're making it with the mushrooms, the vegetarian option, which I also prefer. So.
אני אוסיף רק שיש גרסאות, אני גיליתי שלא רק בפולין הכינו את הפלפל הממולא, גם בעדות המזרח מכינים פלפלים בכלל ממולאים, ושם עושים איזשהו שדרוג, שמכניסים את זה לתנור, אחרי הבישול מכניסים את זה לתנור, ובכלל כל הנושא של ממולאים הוא גם מאוד מאוד מפותח בעדה המרוקאית למשל, שהם עושים את זה.
What Talia is saying is that, sorry, let me just, what Talia is saying is that stuffed peppers is not only an Ashkenazi thing, there is also a Sephardi way of doing it, and they actually, after it's all prepared, put it in the oven to get further cooked. And each one, I know from my wife too, she's Tunisian, each one probably has their own little addition of spices and what else and whatnot.
So in my family, we also make memulaim, but my family doesn't make it with peppers. We are making it with zucchini and with carrots. You can definitely make it with every vegetable, yeah. So it's a very common thing to eat in Israel, and when I told my roommates started making memulaim, they were like very excited about it, ready to eat. So yeah, it's a very famous dish in Israel, very Israeli. So yeah. So my rice is ready. I'm gonna add the garlic cloves by press it inside. I'm also gonna add the mushrooms, as I said before. I'm going to show you in a second.
You know, I'm thinking, everyone, this program today is really a lot of like what the next couple of days in Israel will be. Although we're here to remember and to be sad, but we're also at the same time celebrating somebody's favorite dish. We're celebrating different cultures of Israelis that come and make the same dish a different way. Kind of like the ups and downs. Like on one hand, we're enjoying cooking this meal, but on the other hand, we're here for a different reason. So just like Yom HaZikaron and Israeli Memorial Day is one day, and then the next day is Yom HaAtzmaut. It's a lot of ups and downs, and this is no different.
כן.
Yeah, just let me know when we can show, you know, Uri's presentation about Uri, and also
I will. Definitely in a second. I'm almost done with my part. So what we are doing now is we're gonna stuff the peppers in the rice. So I'm gonna just put it like this so you'll see. I hope you can see me.
Yep.
In two versions.
We can.
So I'm just stuffing it like that. And when it's ready and stuffed, I'm gonna put it in the pan with the tomato sauce. Just again, stuffing everything. Put it inside. I'll show you the finalized version. And this is my last one. What I'm gonna do right after adding it to the pan is that I'm gonna start heating up again the red saucepan, as I show you it right now. I hope you can see it. It's all stuffed. I'm lighting it up, not on high, but on a regular. And now what I'm gonna do is fill this up with water. Prefer that they will get as high as we can, okay? So we do wanna make sure the rice is still getting some water. So what I'm gonna do while it's cooking, I'm gonna add sometimes water from the pot, from the red sauce pot, to the inside of the pepper. So you can just take a cup of water and add it to the pan. You could add spices. We added it already, but if you want more, you can add it. So I hope you can see both cameras. You can see I'm just adding more water, and it needs to be almost high, like as high as the pan. So yeah. And I'll show you the finalized product, the finalized dish. But as I said before, while cooking, just add from the sauce and from the water to the inside of the pepper. We want the rice to get the flavors of the sauce, and we want it to be very soft inside. So add more water and add it to the inside. Yeah, done. I'm passing the torch.
Okay. So in a moment, we will hear from Talia. She will share two of her poems that she and I worked on to translate into English. She wrote two poems about her brother, and she would like to share that. But before that, I'm gonna show you a very short presentation made by Uri's friends on his life. and you can get to know him a little bit better through pictures. You'll hear a song in the background. It's by a famous Israeli singer called Yehuda Poliker. He wrote it about someone named Yoram, but we're replacing, for us, Yoram is Uri. So bear with me for just one moment.
הוא נשאר בן 20 והזמן חלף, זמן שלא נגע בפניו, זמן בלעדיו. הוא עבד בחולות עד היום לא שב, רק עכשיו אפשר לדבר רגע אליו. יורם, תגיד לי אתה, מה עושים עם חבר שכמותך? מה עושים עם אותך, עם זיכרון היותך ועם השכחה? אז כתבת יומן ונשאר מכתב, ואתה צוחק מן הדף על המדף. יורם, תגיד לי אתה, מה עושים עם חבר שכמותך, שלא שם ולא פה, שהיה ואינו ובכל זאת ישנו? כי עם הזמן זה דח, הכאב שכח, לפעמים גם פצע ישר שב ונפתח. יורם, תגיד לי אתה, מה עושים עם חבר שכמותך? מה עושים עם אותך, עם זיכרון היותך, עם חבר שכמותך? שנשאר בן 20.
Talia, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Me?
Yes, you can share with us the poems you wrote about your brother.
Yes. First of all, I want to tell you that I saw down the presentation and it was so difficult to me. It's not the first time, it's maybe 100 times, but with you, with American people, it's very exciting I don't know how, because maybe I thought about how do you see אורי? איך אתם רואים אותו בעיניים שלכם? את הכיבוד.
How do we see Uri from over here in America?
כן.
I think what you're, אני אוסיף קצת, I'll add, I think what Talia is trying to say is, and this is, you know, we're one big family, and none of us here really knew Uri, including myself.
Absolutely.
But here we are. And I think what you're saying is, Talia, is that it's very special to you because you've never done it this way before.
Right. It's very exciting because we are all Jewish, and it's a Jewish story. And it's not a matter if I'm in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and you in New Jersey. It's not matter. We are all together now, and I can feel the bumping heart. Okay.
Thank you.
So, yes. We honor his memory and you, Talia, for. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm going to share the poem in English, okay? Well, they can follow along. So go ahead, Talia.
Yes. The first song I will read it. It's about the last time my parents saw Uri. They took Uri to the place much HaZikaron from the Lebanon border to the Lebanon border. They took Uri to the Lebanon border in Pesach, in Pesach holiday. And in this time, he took his guitar and he never come back. So the last word. So many times I wanted to ask, how did we part when he came down with the big bag and the guitar, which this time he took. The last time when you took him back to base on the border of Lebanon on the second day of Pesach over. Did he wave goodbye? Did he give a hug? Or what was the last word? So many times I wanted to ask, but when the guitar came back along with the bag, I found a book inside with a flooded page marking as far as he read. A torn notepad with lists and more lists in his handwriting that's hard to understand, and also his glasses with no lenses, only metal with his dried blood. It doesn't matter anymore if he waved or hugged or what was the last word. This is the first one. And the other one is a song this spring, because Uri died in the spring. Actually, 10 on April 1996, I don't say.
1996.
So every spring, it's very, every spring, I very in, כאילו מצד אחד הכל פורח וכל כך יפה האביב, ומצד שני זה כל כך קשה.
On one hand, during the spring, on one hand, it's beautiful, everything is blooming, but for Talia's family, the spring also means something else, that they lost Uri.
Yes.
So it's very difficult.
And this spring again, I will be very happy. You will be here when you are on leave from the army. When you are on leave leave from the army. We will travel together to Pardes Chana. You will take first aid supplies with you in case on the way there is an accident. Always ready to come to the rescue. On the way, you will play heavy metal from a cassette tape and turn the volume up to an exact level and explain that this is how you can listen and talk. You listen to me and then give me a lecture on life for not having to be sad, and that I must enjoy the simple things from flowers that bloom and things like that, and that some people are very poor. Then, okay, רגע, איפה אני?
קראת הסוף של הדף.
Then we will come home and you will be angry that I wore your shorts again. They're so comfortable, and we will go up to my room and you will stretch out on my beanbag and we will watch Roger Waters, The Wall, the video, on repeat. I will ask you if it's really that dangerous in the army. You will answer with your chest puffed out in pride. Do you really think I'm going to die? And tell me about someone who read your plan and saw that you have a long lifeline. What do you know? They all liars and cheaters at the end. There are no more cassette tapes. No one even buys CDs. It's all wireless. Everything is portable. And as always, I'm alone. That store on Dizengoff Street closed a long time ago. Ohad Fishoff is no longer playing music, and you will not going to buy yourself a present for the holiday. And in this spring, I will wonder again how everything blooms, but not you. Okay, I'm sorry about my English mistakes. I hope there is not an English teacher in the...
Talia, it was beautiful. Thank you. I read it. This is already the 10th or 11th time I've read it, and it's hearing it from you makes it all that more emotional. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So Toda Rabba, thank you. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it very much. So we're coming towards the end of the program, but I first want for us we will hear the El Malei Rachamim, which is the prayer for the dead. It's a special one for the Israeli soldiers and victims of terror. And then we will conclude with Hatikva before I end with a few words. So it's up to you if you want to stand, but I will get El Malei Rachamim up on the screen in just a moment.
תפילת אל מלא רחמים, מפי החזן הראשי לצה"ל, סגן אלוף שי אברמסון.
המשמר יחטיף את נשקו. החטיף, שקט.
אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים טהורים וגיבורים כזוהר הרקיע מאירים ומזהירים לנשמות חללי מערכות ישראל שנפלו במלחמות ישראל בפעולות הגנה תגמול וביטחון בעת מילוי תפקידם ובעת שירותם ושחרפו נפשם למות על קדושת השם ובעזרת אלוהי מערכות ישראל הביאו לתקומת האומה והמדינה ולגאולת הארץ ועיר האלוהים ולכל מי שנרצחו ומחוצה לה בידי המרצחים מארגוני הטרור ברור שאנו מתפללים לעילוי נשמותיהם בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם אדוני הוא נחלתם וינוחו בשלום על משכבותם ויעמדו לגורלם לקץ הימים ונאמר
God sublime, abounding in compassion, grant perfect rest to the souls of all the martyred children of Israel who gave their lives for the sanctification of thy name. May they be under the wings of thy divine presence in the celestial realm of paradise, in the sphere of the holy and pure who shine resplendent as the luminous firmament for the sanctified souls of those who fell in defense of the state of Israel in all the battles for the formation of the state and in all her wars, and for all our brothers and sisters who fell victim to despicable acts of violence and terror. In their hallowed memory, those in this congregation offer charity, bind up their souls in the bonds of life with thee as their eternal heritage. God of mercy, may they rest evermore in the shelter of thy wings at peace, and let us say, Amen. In just a moment, we will conclude with a tikva. But first, I really want to thank Talia for being here with us tonight in Israel. Our thoughts are with you and your family, and pray that you are granted the strength to get through the next couple of days, which I know is unbearably hard. But I hope that this community, that this community wraps its arms around you and your family, and hopefully that'll give you strength to go on. We wish you no more sorrow. Shalot tidu od tzar.
Amen.
Amen. Yael, thank you so much for being with us today to facilitate this program, and thank you for all you do to strengthen the connection between Israel and all of us here outside of Israel. So toda rabah to you as well. I would ask you, if you're able to rise for a tikva, and this will be the conclusion. This will conclude our ceremony for today. So one moment, please. Just a second. Here we go. Sorry. Bear with me, I'm very sorry. A little technical difficulty here.
חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. ירושלים.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you coming out today in the middle of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Thank you, Dan, for organizing. Thank you, Talia. תודה רבה לך. ממש כל הכבוד.
תודה רבה.
הלב שלנו איתך.